What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As I had promised, got a video for you today going over the 2022 KTM 890 Adventure R. Stay tuned. All right, so this is the 2022 model of the KTM 890 Adventure R. If you guys want to get a complete breakdown of everything I've done to this bike, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because there is quite the laundry list of items. So working from front to back, as you guys can already tell, these are not the stock tires. These are the Mitas Enduro Trail XT Pluses, which just came out recently. I purchased them in the Dakar version so that I could get a little bit of extra miles out of them. They have a stiffer compound. The front axle has a Rottweiler easy pull installed, and then I've got some seal savers, or the fork skins, to help increase the lifespan of my fork seals. It was a little bit of a fiasco to try and get the factory clamps for the brake line to fit, but I was able to get it with a little bit of a longer bolt. Moving up, I've got the Rottweiler triple clamps with the tapered ball bearings. The stock ones are like bicycle bearings, and if you put these in, you'll notice a significant difference in the steering feel, as well as get a proper amount of grease in there. They almost never seem to put enough grease in from the factories. These ones do have the bar risers installed with just like stock height clamps. I didn't change those any, but I did want to raise it up a little so I could put a Scott steering damper right there. I'm running the flex bars. Traditionally speaking, the Cycra Pro bends do not fit, but I basically just pounded these out with a hammer on my vise to get them to line up, and then used a spacer that was included in the kit, and I was able to get them to work somewhat. I just really like the Pro bends, and I can't seem to find one that works with the Flex Adventure bars. So back to the front, I've got a headlight protector. I do not remember the brand, but that is their logo. I'm running a pair of Cyclops LED headlights with a Rottweiler tail tighty kit, and the relay for the turn signals is located behind the headlight. That way I don't get the hyper flash. Gonna come around here. I've got a quad lock set up for those adventure rides so that I can be able to see my phone and charge it, but on days like today where I'm trail riding, I like to keep it in my pouch. I've got the Venasci Motorsports GPS mount located there for the Garmin XT2, I believe it is, for going on some adventure rides. Now, this right here is kind of comical. The double take mirrors come with ram mounts, and the ball pieces that come in the kit maybe like a year ago were rubber. So I had a machine shop basically custom make an aluminum ball so that it wouldn't squish, because what was happening was the ball was squishing and then the mirror would go all over the place. So I spent like a little over $200 to get that done, custom made, and then about a month after I had it done, the double take mirror company came out with that after the fact, and I was like, really? So anyways, the KTM adjustable levers, clutch and brake, little bit of hoorah with the orange brake reservoir cap, Venasci Motorsports fuel cap. I do want to upgrade my battery to lithium at some point, but I have not done that. Over here you can see I've got the Rottweiler headlight brace. That way the front end doesn't shake around as much. There's been some complaints that the headlights would break off if you're doing a lot of hardcore stuff. So I just wanted to do some preventative maintenance, installed that. SW Motec skid plate. It's a pretty solid skid plate. I tipped over last year on a rock and it bent this in and saved my fuel tank, fortunately, but I was able to just pound it out a little bit over the winter. You can kind of see from right here, I put on some orange Samco radiator hoses and filled my cooling system with some engine ice. In a recent video, I was talking about some of the cold start issues that this bike had, and was explaining that with my fuel tank setup, I did Rottweiler's quick disconnect fuel line system that has an inline fuel filter. between doing that, installing hose clamps, making sure that everything had good fuel pressure and that there were no leaks in the system, then I also noticed that my valve cover gasket was leaking and my water pump gasket was leaking. I changed those out, made sure to put some RTV on them, and I changed the plugs early, like way early. I've only got about 2,700 miles on this bike, but I got some iridiums, made sure to properly gap them, and that seemed to fix the cold start issue. I've got the easy pull clutch lever. It's just an extended clutch arm. I think it's from Camel ADV, if I'm not mistaken. Some more pizzazz, a little orange oil filler cap, the clean speed brake lever, and Vinasci peg or pedal. These are from the Fast Company as well. They're the damping style adventure or moto pegs. I chose to get a little bit of subframe protection. This is from a company overseas. I believe it's the same company that is popular for doing the T7 cages. I'm just not remembering their name, forgive me. Wings exhaust or muffler with an Aero cat delete. Some more pizzazz on the rear with a disc guard and the colored axle blocks. We've got the ABS line protector, and then again the Mitas tires. Some Rottweiler grab handles or like tie down locations. Those are where the original passenger foot peg mounts go, but you can replace them with that. And then the Camel ADV mud guard in front of the shock. Little reservoir cap. I made sure to outfit the bike, of course, with a battery tender. And then if you guys don't know what this is for those quick start battery like jump boxes, the thin ones. I keep one in my moto bag, in that case, like if there's an instance where I kill my battery by accident, I can jump start the bike easily without having to break out my tools, pull the seat and the cover off. It just makes it a whole lot easier. When you do the Vinasci Motorsports fuel cap, I want to remember to tell you guys, if you drill a slight hole in this plate and then countersink it a little bit, you can get the factory plug to plug in, and then you just hook the hose back up to it. So it keeps a factory look for the drain. That way, if I tip the bike over, the fuel just comes out of that hole. Trying to think what else. The Piron Moto, like luggage carrier rack, I chose to keep the grab handles because this is nice. If you tip it over, it's a little extra protection for the bike too, between this bar and this bar. I didn't want to add too much weight. I've been actually trying to take a lot of weight out. I took the evap thing out, all that stuff, and tried to eliminate all that weight. You save a bunch of weight by removing the exhaust system, so that's nice. And then just recently, I changed my sprocket setup to the Dirt Tricks 15 tooth front sprocket and a I believe like super sprox or something like that. Just the stock gearing on the rear sprocket. The trans saver for the transmission from Rottweiler, and I believe that's it, with the exception of the Rottweiler intake. Pull the seat off here real quick for you. So I've got just the Rottweiler intake under there, and then the batteries over there with all the hookups. So of course, when you do a video like this, you tend to forget some things. I'm sure I am, but before I close out, I will tell you that I did raise the forks and the triple clamps a little bit to put just a little bit more weight on the front end. I'm somebody who's kind of always had an issue with just not having enough weight on the front end. And if I raise the forks up a little bit, it puts a little bit more weight on the front. So that helps me out tremendously getting traction off-road. And then I believe that is just about it, other than little things like the grips. These are, I believe, driven racing grips, but at some point I may go to a pair of Oxford heated grips for adventure rides when things are cold. But I think that's about gonna wrap it up. So like I said, it is easy to forget things, but if you guys stuck around to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. If you guys like what I did or you have any questions, I will leave the Instagram handle down in the description below the video here. That way, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM if you got any questions. So if you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.